and welcome back to your mum's favorite channel on YouTube, Cult Strength. Now this is episode 3 of the Cult Strength Q&A. Today I'm training arms and shoulders, so it's a little bit different. I'm going to answer your questions while I get a filthy pump. Now I love to do this because I like to stay in touch with you guys and stay engaged with those who support my channel, because it does mean a lot to me. So I hope I can help answer your questions. I hope you enjoy it. I'm gonna get a sick pump. Let's go, baby. Oh yeah. We have to also understand that training morale is extremely important. And if you don't enjoy what you do at all, then why the fuck are you doing it? Because this is supposed to be a lifestyle. This isn't a sprint. It's not a race. We choose to live our life a certain way. So we may as well have a little bit of fun while we're at it. All right, guys, we're gonna get started now. I'm gonna start with triceps. So we'll do a tricep exercise, then we'll do a bicep exercise, and then we're gonna do also a little bit of shoulders. I like to do shoulders when I do arms. I'm not talking pressing. We'll do more isolation exercises like lateral raises, even a cable upright row. So I do like to get a nice little shoulder pump. When my arms get pumped, it always looks better. And I'm going to answer your questions. I had a whole bunch of questions today again, so I'm not going to get through all of them, but I'll do my best to get through as many as possible. We'll do 3 sets of each exercise. So it'll be 3 exercises, 3 rounds of each one, and then we'll do 3 different exercises, and then 3 more exercises. So 3 triceps, 3 biceps, and 3 shoulder exercises done in rounds, right? So we'll keep moving. Let's get it, baby. I haven't trained arms by themselves in quite some time, and now that I have the opportunity to, I'm going to be smashing these things once or twice a week. So the first exercise we're doing, basic tricep push down. Okay, we're working the medial and lateral heads of the tricep. Now these are the parts of the tricep that we tend to use a lot when we're pressing. So, it is an excellent idea to get some isolation work in with these muscles. We don't always just have to press to obviously work on building the size and strength of our triceps. Now we'll do a set of curls. Superset these. Now the first set is pretty light, and then the second set will go a little heavier, but on the third set of each exercise is where I'll push closer to failure. We'll go really hard on the last round of each exercise. All right, let's do our first question, shall we? We'll walk over and do our shoulders at the same time. Now, Buffalo Cougar Slayer, sir, is that true? I like it. Loves the mums. All right, you ask, what's the best metal band to ever come from Australia? Now he said his vote goes to Disembowelment. Well, it's very opinion based, right? We probably have slightly different taste in music, but my 2 favorite bands to come out of Australia, Graves from Wollongong and Shinto Katana from Sydney. I think they're actually both playing shows again very soon, so I might have to go watch. But there's been heaps of good bands come out of here, but yeah, my 2 favorites, they're beat down, heavy breakdowns, all that kind of shit. Now, we'll do a set of shoulders. Lateral raises to start with. Ooh. And then we'll answer some more questions. Oh yeah, baby. Already feeling a fucking pump, Jesus Christ. Just wait till I take this fucking jacket off. Make sure you fucking lock your mums up. Jesus Christ. We'll sit down and we'll do another question. All right, gang. Second question. Who's this fella? DXYOO. He asks, I would love to hear about your tattoos or any piercings if you still have any. Why you started getting them and what people thought when you got your first one. Love the content, mate. Well, thank you for watching, sir. My first tattoo, I was just turned 16. I got Perseverance, maybe you can see it, written on my arm here. My favorite band back in the day was Hatebreed, and that was a song that got me through quite a dark period of my life, quite a rough transition for me. So I found, you know, strength through music at that time, and that's what I did. Now, when I got it, my dad took me to get it when him and my mum had separated. Between me and you, I think it was because he knew that would really piss her off, and it did. So then, about 2 weeks later, he took me to get another tattoo, which was a skull and a dagger on the back of my leg, and it is one of the shittest tattoos that you will ever fucking see. It is horrible. But again, it did the job for him, I guess, and I got a tattoo out of it. But yeah, my mum still says to me when I'm getting tattooed, hey Reese, make sure you don't get anything visible. What? I think it's a bit late, love. But yeah, I have many tattoos. Some mean something to me. Many of them mean nothing to me. I've had friends that are tattoo artists and they wanted to do something cool, so I let them. It's art. It doesn't always have to mean something. Sometimes you can just appreciate how it looks. You know, we don't always have to be super deep. Of course, I have you know, very meaningful tattoos, but they're personal tattoos and they're meaningful to me. So yeah, in terms of piercings, well, obviously I got these vaginas in my ears. I had my ears stretched to 50 mil at one point, which is about that. About that, you probably fit 3 or 4 of your penises in there. And I also had my septum pierced, which is, you know, in here, there's still a hole there. I had that stretched to about 8 mil. The reason I did that, I found out that I had some very unique heritage that I always felt drawn to, and that was definitely representative of the culture. So that was definitely an important thing to me, and I still have the hole there. I just don't wear the jewelry anymore because I have a child as well, and something he would love to grab hold of and rip out, and that's not very pleasant. But we're going to do our next set now. We'll do a next round, triceps, biceps, and shoulders. And again, I'll keep explaining to you why I'm doing these particular movements and why they're applicable to helping me achieve my goal besides just getting big and jacked. Because, I mean, some of it's just because I want to be big and jacked, but also there's a purpose to most of it. Let's go. Whew. And we'll step the weight up a little bit for this round. And then the next round is when we go to failure. Let's go. After this exercise on triceps, the next exercise is targeting the long head of the tricep, which is completely different and extremely neglected. And I'm going to explain to you when I'm doing that, why you need to do it if you want a big bench press. So the biceps, let's go. Yeah. Whoo. To the shoulders we go. Let's see if I can find any more questions. Okay. Memphis Clay asks, you may have talked about this before, but I want to hear about why and when you first started training. Well, when I was 16, I was in a relationship with a girl, and something happened that made me feel very inadequate and insecure. And I wasn't confident at all in myself or how I looked, because I didn't look after myself properly. I didn't train, and although I was young, that is what pushed me in the direction of the gym and building strength and confidence. And obviously, it's a never-ending journey, right? But that's where it started for me. You know, I took something painful and negative, and I transmuted that into growth and something positive. And I'm sure we all have something that, you know, kicked us on our way. That's probably different for everyone. You know, not saying that I wasn't training before I started lifting in the gym. I played sports at a very high level, but it wasn't in the gym. I wasn't lifting weights, and that's, I think, a little different. But yeah, that's where it started for me. I was like 16. And my girlfriend at the time turned 18. And I had to watch a very explicit strip show right in front of me. And that was not fun. And I wouldn't do it again, trust me. There would be blood. It is what it is. All right, baby. I'm gonna do another set of shoulders. We're at the 15s, 15 kilos. Yeah, boy. Let's go. Get the pump cover off soon. Now I love hitting, you know, my isolation shoulder work, because more pressing, you know, isn't necessarily handy, and the focus is on bench press, so it's hard to get a lot of, you know, direct shoulder work in. But you can do it without pressing. You just got to think about the angles, and this is really hitting, you know, my side delts, and the other shoulder exercises I do will sort of cover the other parts of my delts. Yeah. Whew. Shit, boy. All right, we'll take a minute and we'll do some more questions. All right, gang, before we start our third set, Trap Thompson 6860 asks, do I need access to machines to run your deadlift and bench press programs? I work it in my garage, so I'm limited to a barbell, squat rack and bench, and my loadable dumbbells. Sir, excellent question. Thank you for that. No, you don't need machines. Machines are a luxury. Machines are fantastic if you have them, but for the first 5 years of my powerlifting career, I really only used barbells and dumbbells. That's all I needed, and I could still do the same thing now. Do I have the option of using machines? Yes, so I'm going to. But if I didn't have them, I would still be doing the things that I can do to achieve very similar results, okay? As long as you do the work and you're following the basic principles of each program, right? For example, you might not have a seated row machine, but you have an incline adjustable bench and some dumbbells. You can do a chest supported row. You could do a bent over row with dumbbells if you wanted to. You know, if you can't do lat pull downs, you can substitute that for, you know, maybe a pull up, or you could do, you know, an assisted pull up using some sort of a band or, you know, other contraption. And you can also do inverted rows and work your way up to that. There's, you know, one arm dumbbell rows, and that's just back exercises, right? With the deadlift program, yeah, obviously it'd be great to have a leg press and a leg curl and stuff like that. But hey, if we don't have a leg press, load up a light barbell with a raised heel in a close stance and try and, you know, hammer out some high volume squats that are very quad dominant, you know, for high repetitions. You know, that's a way to use a leg press if you don't have a leg press. It's not the same, no, but it is your next best option. And there's plenty of ways to think outside the box. There really is. You just got to use your imagination a little bit. And if you grab the programs and you are stuck, please just send me an email. I'll do my best to get back to you quickly. thecultstrength@gmail.com. I appreciate your support. But now we have to do our last round. I'm going to take this jacket off though. Holy shit. All right, baby. We're not taking the whole pump cover off yet though. Not yet. Because that wouldn't be impressive enough yet. I'd say, you know, I came into the gym flaccid, right? At the moment, we're at like a semi. you know, pretty like hefty semi, but soon we're gonna be at full mast, and I'm gonna take my shirt off and you will be able to then see that, and you're welcome. As I said before though, lock up your mums. Could get a little bit fucking wet and wild. Ooh, I'm just kidding guys, don't be offended. All right, last set of these. We'll push them a little harder now, close to failure, a little heavier. Yeah. Woohoo! Oh boy. Yeah, you know, and the rep ranges that I'm using, I'm not really counting, but I do know that it's in the ballpark of 20 reps per set, especially for the triceps and biceps at the moment. So I think the best way to train arms, honestly, most of the time, 15 to 20 rep sets. Obviously, yeah, sometimes chuck in some heavier stuff, maybe some 6 to 8s, but the bulk of it, I think, keep the reps high. We want to get a sick pump. One more. Fucking dirty dog. Come on then, we're gonna go do some shoulders and then we'll sit down and chat some more. I'm not answering a question right now. I'm puffed out and shut the fuck up. I'm heavy. I'm a heavy boy. Leave me alone. Whew, all right. Let's go. We're gonna take a minute. All right, guys, let's do another question. Austin, the master, 5010, he says, I benched 140 kilos at 100 kilo body weight. What would be a respectable number to achieve on bench press at 100 kilos for a 20-year-old? And I mean respectable as in just gym culture, not powerlifting. That is respectable, bro. That's a good bench, you know? Most people don't bench that much weight, especially not in powerlifting. But you know, for me, I know I make jokes and I say that if you don't bench, I say if your boyfriend doesn't bench 3 plates, you have a girlfriend. But it is just a laugh, right? It's a joke. As long as you're working on getting stronger. Let's be honest. Yes, people are gonna give you shit. I've copped shit before. You're gonna cop shit, you know, but just get stronger. So whatever you think is respectful or respectable as a bench press, that's great, but you can do better. You know what I mean? Don't just set your standards at gym culture. Just say, I wanna have a big fucking bench press. Doesn't matter compared to who, right? Simple. Just get a big bench press and just keep getting stronger and you'll be on the right path. Now, next tricep exercise. Now this one's important, right? This is working the long head of the tricep, which is a little more under here, right? Now this is a tricep head or muscle that doesn't get really hit during our pressing movements or our regular tricep work. So it's often neglected and forgotten about and is a missing weak link. So to have a really well developed and healthy balanced tricep, you must work the long head as well as the medial head and the lateral head. And they're just fancy words for different parts of the tricep, okay? So now I'm gonna do this movement. You can incorporate this into your training. You know, I think it's fantastic. We'll do this, we'll do another bicep exercise, and then we're gonna do a cable lateral raise for the shoulders. the dumbbells, we're gonna do alternating dumbbell curls for biceps and add a bit more weight. The next set, the next 3 sets will be a little heavier, whereas the cable for biceps I feel is more tension focused, which is great for a pump, but I wanna move some heavy dumbbells and get some mass, baby. All right, so you have to lean a little bit forward for this, right, to counterbalance the weight. We're gonna let the weight pull our elbows up, get a stretch through the triceps, push out overhead, okay? So it's back over the head, stretch triceps. Very different. Let's go over here, get some dumbbell curls in. Again, each set will go a little heavier. Yeah, baby. We'll start with the 20 kilos and we'll work up from there. Easy peasy. And we've got a single arm lateral raise. Let's get it. Might have a look at another question though before we start that set. All right, Hater XXX asks, this isn't specific to arms, but as a heavily tattooed individual, I'm curious what was the most painful tattoo for you? Well, my good friend, most tattoos are painful, and if anyone tells you otherwise, they're lying. But for me, around here and top of my head, that sucked, and I wouldn't be fond of doing it again. But at the same time, I probably would. Ooh. But they hurt the most. Also, like eyelids, you know, it's only a small area though, so it wasn't as bad because it took like 20 minutes to get them both done. Whereas my head, that was like 2 or 3 sittings, I think. It was like 16 hours total, and that was just fucking terrible. I love the old cable for the lateral raises. Again, cables are excellent for constant tension. Good squeeze, good pump. Yeah, boy. Ooh, we're gonna take this pump cover off in a sec. Be careful. All right, gang, pump cover's off. You are fucking welcome. Pro It MSP asks, new subscriber here. Appreciate your transparency. I didn't know I was see-through, but you're welcome. It's refreshing. Can you tell us more about your training programs, if they're used perpetually, or if there is more than one program, are they used sequentially, i.e. 12-week one program, then another 12-week program focusing on arms? That's a fantastic question. Now, for example, I think I spoke about this yesterday, my deadlift and bench press programs, they work together, right? They're each focusing on one lift, so you're not gonna be doing, 5 days bench pressing. It'll be your 2 days of pressing and then your deadlift day, potentially with a squat day. Now, if I did a 3-lift program, that would cover all bases, right? That'd be squat, bench, and deadlift, probably 4 to 5 days a week of training. But when it comes to the single lift programs, they can be run together. Okay, you just gotta pick the days that suit you to train during the week. And I wouldn't recommend training more than 5 days in a week. I think that's a little bit excessive, but yeah, they definitely work together. More triceps, baby. All right, baby. A little heavier for this one. Let's go. Now I do like using the rope handles sometimes, because what that kind of does is it makes the lockout portion a little harder. We now have to separate the rope, so we're pulling tension apart as well, opposed to on a barbell or a regular pull down bar, it's just pushing down, but we have to push out as well. And that outward movement is very similar to that bulldog grip when we bench press, right? The external rotation. So, a little bit of carryover into your bench press. You're fucking welcome. Hey Scott, fuck you. Scotty's like, he's a dickhead, but he's our dickhead. But it's my job to actually give him shit every day. That's why he actually comes here. All right, baby. 30 kilos each hand. Let's go. All right, we've got more shoulders. Come on now. Stop fucking about. Get your bloody hand off it. We're trying to work here. And let me tell you right now, you know, this is cardio, right? Do your sets back to back to back. I'm talking isolation movements, like arms, like machine work. You can make it cardiovascular workout out of it. It doesn't have to be, you know, slow and boring, and you don't have to feel like a fat piece of shit. Create some hard work. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh. Let's go, baby. Yeah, the mums. Yeah, the mums. Yeah. That's what's up, baby. Take a minute. We'll take a minute. All right, before we do our last round of those exercises, we've got another question. It's a good one, I think. Alex, SC8 pack. All right, bro. Good day, mate. My mum said hi from England. Hey, Alex's mum. How you doing, love? Alex's question is, my question is training splits for one that is switching from a bro split or hypertrophy only training to training for a powerlifting competition. Well, man, I'm going to give you just my ideal breakdown for a powerlifting based training week. 4 days of training. All right, you have a squat day, which is a squat dominant day, obviously. You have 2 bench press days, one being a heavier, more competition focused day, and the other being a bench press variation movement that is lighter and higher in volume. Now, on both of those days, I would include things like back training, potentially some shoulders, and maybe some arms, and then of course a deadlift focused day, whereas deadlift focused and more posterior chain focused. Optionally, day 5, you would go in and do what I'm doing now, right? Get a bit of a pump with your arms and your shoulders, no compound movements. But that is, for me, the ideal split. Don't overcomplicate it, bro. It's real simple. It's about how you execute your lifts. That is the most important thing. And if you're unsure, of what to do with your programming, anybody who's unsure, keep in mind, I have programs available on my website, but I also offer customized online coaching. Okay, so email me, thecultstrength@gmail.com, if you have any inquiries about that. Last set, motherfuckers, of this, and then we got 3 more rounds to push through to fucking finish this disgusting pump. Let's get it. Oh yeah. That's failure. That's a partial. Full stretch range, right? Biceps. We got one more set of heavy curls in. Curls get the girls, bis get the guys. It really depends on whether you pull conventional or sumo. Where are we? 35s. Do we have 35s? We have 32.5. That's gonna do for today. All right, baby. Let's get it. Woohoo! One more set of shoulders to go. That also reminds me, actually, I have to show you something. You may not be familiar with it, but I found this today. Last set of shoulders. Well, these ones. Let's go. Yeah. Well, I do have a pump. God damn. It'll take a minute. Some more questions, and we've got one more round of 3 exercises to go. Let's get it. All right, baby. This is our last round, our last 3 exercises. So we'll do like 3 more questions. Now, we'll start with this one. Keror1 asks, do you have any advice for someone with a short torso and long femurs who can deadlift all the weight, but struggles to squat with a feather on their back? My friend, I don't mean to sound harsh when I say this, right? But unfortunately, you know, most people are going to be working against some sort of disadvantage. I'm not built to squat. I had skinniest legs, long femurs for as long as you could imagine. I really struggled to squat, and I was a really good deadlifter. Now, my squat right now is 415 kilos, which is more than my deadlift, which is 410 kilos. Now, how did I achieve that? Well, my friend, I certainly didn't achieve it by creating excuses as to why I couldn't squat. I simply redeveloped my squat. I changed my technique until I found something that suited me. And then I spent fucking years getting stronger. And during that time, I was constantly looking for ways to improve my technique and become better. I didn't worry about my femur length or my skinny legs. What I did was worked on getting bigger legs, because the thicker those fucking things are, the shorter the range of motion is going to be, right? Thicken them up, get stronger, don't make excuses. We all have a disadvantage somewhere. You just got to fucking work around it. Before you know it, you won't even notice it anymore. Triceps, we'll do biceps with, again, single hand. Now I love this bicep variation because if you see how I execute this, it's the only real way I can get a pump in the peak of the bicep. Now, you know, I like training biceps, right? But it's very hard sometimes to really get that pump right on the peak where you want it, right? It's hard to get that contraction. I find with this, it's easy. All right, You can even put your fucking finger on your bicep and really get that connection happening. Now, I don't have the biggest arms in the world. In saying that, they're not small, right? I've never really trained them consistently. I've done phases, you know, but I've never trained them consistently. I've built my arms mainly through doing heavy compound movements, heavy back work, heavy press work, but you know, even I understand now that if I want to become a more developed, you know, balanced lifter, that I also need to train my arms. That's an important piece of the puzzle. So we don't neglect it, all right? And also, all right, big biceps, man. Filling out those sleeves and shit, making it real difficult to find clothes that fit you. Real impractical, like. Nothing like it. And for shoulders, we're gonna go some upright rows. A little classic. With the ropes. Let's go. Leading with the elbows high. Two more rounds. Sorry guys. All right, you dirty mongrels. Now, there's like 3 questions here that are very similar, so I'm gonna answer them all at once. Junkie Pluto asks, how do you implement hypertrophy exercises into your training next to the main powerlifting exercises like side delt work, arms and stuff like that, like this session? Hater XXX asks, what are the best tricep movements to help improve bench? And, ooh, hold on. Jufsky off the Sith asks your top tricep exercises with phenomenal carryovers to the bench press. And there's one more specific to arms. Wham Bam asks, what would you say is the bread and butter to building the best triceps? So a lot of tricep related questions there, and you know, how to put your arm training in with the rest of your training. Well, as I said earlier, cover your bases. Okay, we're doing a lot of heavy pressing. So our tricep work doesn't need to be heavy, right? We're doing isolation work. You know, I could sit here and say skull crushers and dips and weighted dips, and I wouldn't be lying, they're fantastic. But when you have a look at the grand scheme of things, and is that you're pressing heavy twice per week already and potentially doing a lot of volume, that's fucking overkill, man. All right, so think about what I said. We want to hit, you know, all heads of the tricep, medial, lateral, and long head. And we do that by hitting different angles. Like I showed you before, the overhead tricep extension hits the long head, while these other variations target more the medial head and the lateral head. And, you know, biceps, again, look what I'm doing here, right? I'm just making sure that I'm taking a nice rounded approach to it and hitting things from different angles. I'm using cables and I'm using dumbbells. There's nothing fancy, there's nothing overly complicated. It's just the basics done well. And you can train arms. Now, I like to train arms sometimes when I'm doing them, you know, after my bench press days. I'll do some triceps and I'll do some biceps, and I'll chuck in some lateral raises as well. Or I'll come in on a totally separate day like today and just absolutely hammer them, getting fucking hundreds of reps. It's a lot of volume, right? And then you pair that with your heavy compound lifts during the week. Maybe you do a little bit of isolation work as well, and you know, you add it up, that's a fair bit of work. So you don't have to overdo it. You want to make sure you're taking a well-rounded approach, as with all things. I do hope that helps. And as I said, I offer coaching and programming, so if you're ever really unsure, I can take the guesswork out of it for you and help you with your technique all in one. It's not free though, and it's not cheap. I'll be honest with you, because my time is valuable and I give a lot of free content here, and I'm happy to do that But when it comes to working one-on-one, it costs money because I know the service I can provide and I can help you very quickly. But it just has to be worth it to the individual. What do your success and what do your goals, how valuable are they to you? And what are you willing to do to reach them? And I'm saying that from a position of experience. I have a coach and I know a lot, but I'm still humble enough to know that I can be helped by someone else. One more round, baby. All right, you absolute animals. One more question, and this time we're gonna go to Walking Bone, who is actually a member on my YouTube channel. Thank you, sir, for your support. It was very easy to notice your question. Absolutely. Do you allow yourself during deload week to mess around with the odd movements such as the dead bench press or Garonda perfect curls while in prep to keep things feeling fresh, or do you stay focused on getting ready for next week? Looking forward to stacking Deadlift Destroyer and the Barbarian Bench Press program together next week. Love your stuff. Thank you kindly, sir. Now, to answer your question, I have been known to fuck around sometimes and find out. Now, when I'm close to competition though, I don't normally fuck around with anything that's too alien or unfamiliar. But if we're talking, 4 or 5 months out, absolutely I've been known to do some really stupid shit. And I'm talking real dumb. I've used a uneven dumbbell as my bench for a 170 kilogram bench press before, as in just laying with my upper back on the dumbbell and supporting myself up with my hips and legs, right? Like a bridge. That is probably one of the dumbest things I've ever done. That was very sketchy. I've bench pressed people. I've done the yoke runs with people hanging off the yoke. I've done stuff that could have easily gone very badly, and I will continue to do that because as much as it's nice to be disciplined and to stick to the plan, we have to also understand that training morale is extremely important. And if you don't enjoy what you do at all, then why the fuck are you doing it? Because this is supposed to be a lifestyle. This isn't a sprint. It's not a race. We choose to live our life a certain way. So we may as well have a little bit of fun while we're at it. Wouldn't you say? So to answer your question, yes, I do. I just try not to do it too close to competition, and try to take as many precautions as you can. In saying that, I'm not suggesting you do stupid shit and hurt yourself. I will not be held accountable or responsible for your decisions. Are we clear? I'll also be having this conversation with your mothers. Let's go. Last set, baby. One thing as well, which sucks, my left bicep peak is much more impressive than my right one, but the total size of my arms are very similar. For some reason, this one's shaped a lot nicer, so I'm going to be working on my right bicep and getting a bit more of a peak. But this one, that ain't fucking bad, you know what I mean? The other one's a bit fucking suspect, but it's stronger. This is the one that I tore as well. Actually, that's probably why it's a bit shorter. When I dislocated my shoulder many years ago and had a shoulder reconstruction, I think there was some bicep injury as well, which is why it maybe looks a bit shorter and a bit more peaked. But anyway, I'm still going to get a bigger right bicep. Fucking hell, that was almost a row. One more set of these. Let's go, big dog. If no one else is going to fucking bark at you, bark at yourself, you filthy dogs. Golly, Well, that about wraps that up. I hope that helped. And I'm sorry if I didn't answer your questions. Did my best. There's a lot, you know, but I will continue doing this each week. So keep asking, and I'm sure I'll get there. Make sure you like this video, drop a comment, and fucking subscribe. Please, it would mean a lot to me. I have my Patreon. You can support the channel there. You know, fucking exclusive content just for you. And also, the membership tab or tier on my YouTube channel is an excellent way to get me to notice your comments, because there's so many of them. And that last question I answered, that dude was a member, and I probably wouldn't have seen his question if it wasn't for that little badge. That's just me being honest. You don't have to do that, but again, I appreciate the support, and it allows me to keep making these videos. But I'm fucked now, man. That was like a couple hundred reps at least. Get ready for a show. 3 years out, baby. Let's get it. Go to the fucking gym.